Hey, Hank, what are you doing? You know that I can see you, right?
Oh, man. I was hoping if I stood perfectly still with my eyes closed, I'd be invisible.
Well, I can still see you, but do you know who can't?
Who?
Our listeners.
Oh, right. Hello, kids. Welcome to God's Story for Kids. I'm your host, Henry. You can call me Hank.
And I'm sophisticated, Sophie for short. So here's a question for you, Hank. What's up with wanting to be invisible?
I'm glad you asked, Sophie. I have a great prank I want to play on my mom, but it would help if I was invisible.
Do you play a lot of pranks on your mom?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I bet she loves that.
My mom is the queen of pranks.
She is?
Yeah, and I'm trying to get her with the ultimate prank.
Well, what's the ultimate prank?
I don't know yet, but when I think of it, it will be ultimate.
I'm sure it will be, Hank. I'm sure it will.
Do you ever wish you could be invisible, Sophie?
I guess I've never really thought about it. I'm more into science. You know, things that are real.
Oh, you mean like things you can see?
Well, actually, there are things you can't see that are still very real.
Like what?
Wi-Fi. You can't see Wi-Fi.
Right, you can't see it, but your phone still connects to it so you can watch YouTube. That's how you know it's real.
Okay, and what about viruses?
Viruses on a computer? Those are bad news. They can make your whole computer stop working.
Well, I was thinking more about a cold or a flu virus, in your body.
Yeah, those are real too because they make you so sick. I remember last year I got the flu and I couldn't stop throwing up.
Okay, you can stop now, Hank. I know another one.
What is it?
Faith.
Faith?
Yeah, faith.
I don't know how to see faith. It's not like I can just see God or anything.
Well, why don't we look in the Bible and see what it says in Hebrews chapter 11? Let's have one of our listeners read it for us.
Faith means being sure of the things we hope for, and faith means knowing that something is real, even if we do not see it. It is by faith that we understand that the whole world has been made by God's command. This means that what we see was made by something that cannot be seen.
Okay. So faith means we believe something is real, even if we can't see it, like God. But that doesn't feel very science-y. I like to really see something with my own two eyes to believe it.
I know what you mean, Hank. I like science too. And it does feel great to see something with your own eyes and know it's true. But have you ever heard of Thomas?
Well, the only Thomas I know is of Thomas the Train. I used to play with those toys when I was younger.
Well, I'm talking about Thomas from the Bible. Some people call him Doubting Thomas.
Why?
He was one of Jesus' disciples. And when Jesus died, his disciples were so sad. Until one day, Jesus appeared to some of them. They were so excited, and they started telling the others who weren't there that Jesus was alive again. But Thomas didn't believe them. He said he wouldn't believe it until he saw Jesus for himself.
So what happened? Did he end up seeing Jesus?
He did. Jesus appeared to Thomas and said, "Thomas, touch my hands. See that I'm alive and believe."
That's cool that he got to see Jesus with his own eyes.
It is cool. But Jesus also told him it would have been better if he had believed in him without seeing.
Why?
Jesus wants us to trust him. It says in the book of Jeremiah, "Cursed are those who put their trust in mere humans, who rely on human strength and turn their hearts away from the Lord. But blessed are those who trust in the Lord and have made the Lord their hope and confidence."
All right, I get it, Sophie. It's better to put our faith and hope and trust in God. But I still wish I could see something, like Thomas did.
You might not be able to see Jesus' body like Thomas did, but you do get to see lots of other things.
Like what?
You get to look up at the sky when you're camping and see all those stars. And remember that the same God who made all those stars made you and loves you.
Oh, yeah. I love looking at God's creation.
That's faith. And you remember when your pet fish Worm died?
Yeah.
Well, you got to see all your friends come alongside you and sit with you and pray with you.
Oh, yeah. I felt a little better after that.
That's hope. And you said you wanted to make some better choices this year and not pull so many pranks at school, even though it was going to be super hard. So, how's your year been going?
It's been great. I'm doing better in reading this year, and I've made some new friends, and my teachers don't even cringe when I raise my hand anymore.
That's trust. You knew it was going to be hard, and you asked God to help you, and He did. See, Hank? You get to see lots of examples of faith and hope and trust.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Sophie. And those are just some of the reasons I know God is real.
Some of the best things in life are things you can't see.
Like an invisibility prank?
No, that's not what I was thinking.
I know. I'm just kidding. You meant God's love.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And this is where your story meets God's story, kids. We all have a choice about where we're going to put our faith.
And even though you can't see God with your own eyes, you can see lots of examples of how He has been faithful to you.
Why don't we take a minute right now to hear from some Hope kids about how they see God in their lives?
I see God through the people that I know and love. I can see God through prayer.
I see God through the people in life that I meet.
I see God by going to church.
I can feel God's love.
The Lord helps us through hard times.
God gave me a family that takes care of me.
God is a holy figure who helps us through challenges all through life.
Those are awesome examples of seeing God. I'm going to remember those when I start to wonder where I should put my faith and trust.
God is faithful to us because He loves us, and that's just who He is. So now we can be faithful to Him.
We hope you remember that, kids. And always remember that you matter. You are loved, and you are part of God's story. Now, Sophie, do you want to help me come up with the ultimate prank to pull on my mom?
God's Story for Kids.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of God's Story for Kids. It's easy to find us here each week by hitting the subscribe button and then let your friends know how much you love it.
And if you're looking for more ways to plug into Lutheran Church of Hope's annual theme, the whole Holy Bible in a year, check out our website for weekly family devotions and other resources for kids and adults. And if you're local, we hope to see you at Hope Kids on weekends and Wednesdays.
We'll see you next week. God loves you.